it's me, Renee. I'm back. And another Monday, another look back on last year. Still weird to now it's 3 weeks ago, but it's still last year. It's 2021. Like still it feels like it's this year, but it's not. Well, anywho, today I'm gonna give you my 2021 funniest books. Now. Not all of these books I own because some are audiobooks. Well, I own them, but not own. Well, okay, honestly, some I do own. I don't really remember where they are. Can't be that bothered to. Well, I suppose might. You know what? I'm gonna give a little look. Sorry. So yeah, I couldn't find the 2 books that I own, but I can find them. So yeah, I'll link them. And yeah, as with usual, this is my personal list, of course. Kind of that's no default. It's warning. No warning. Yeah, just so you know, this is my personal list. So if your book is not on this list, boo-hoo for you. Oh, yeah, it's personal opinions. And what am I thinking more? Yeah. One of them. Was it one? Shock. So actually, 2 of them didn't come out last year, but this is my list, and it's a list of books I read last year, not necessarily books that came out last year. Except when it's anticipated videos, or it says books of, books from this year, or when I'm having it specifically a title, then it's more about books that I read, not necessarily books that came out that year. And yeah, let's start. One moment, start, and then again one moment. But yeah, so as always in a random order, we have A Rook of Ones Own by Eva Dunmore. This is the second book in the blah 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 League of Extraordinary Women novel. This is based around the Lady Lucy, the kind of default leader of these protagonists, these suffragists. So it's adult romance built around suffragist movement, and yeah, I found this one very funny. Very funny now and then. Yeah, also, yeah, I suppose you might ask yourself, well, how you define which book comes on this list? Is it a book that you smile from, that book that you giggle? No, I would say when I kind of decide to make this list, it's kind of books that I kind of think and look at and think, did I laugh out loud more than once? This is a book that I remember as funny. Of course, some books I read last January, and maybe they were funny at the moment, but when I look back at them, I don't remember them being funny. So yeah, there are books that have kind of still in my mind are funny even now, even months after I read them, and they were funny in my memory. So yeah, that's kind of more or less and yeah, it has to be laugh out loud, not just a little giggle, and laugh out loud several times, not just one time. And yeah, then we have Love is for Losers by Vibeke Bruggemann. So this is actually her first book, and yeah, it's very, very funny, I would say. This is a book that I laughed so much and a lot of times I kind of lost my breath. So yeah, if you're looking for a very funny book that also has some LGBTQ plus rep, it's not big, but it's there. And honestly, well, to be frank, it's not specified, so we don't know if the protagonist is bi or queer or lesbian or what. But she ends up in a female-female relationship, and yeah, it's just a very, very funny story. So yeah, if you need a laugh, check this one out. The Air Affair by Heather Cox and Jessica Morgan. This one actually came out 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago now, 2020, that year. And yeah, this one is very funny. But it's also very moving, and yeah, it's just amazing in a lot of ways. But one of the ways it's so good is it's so funny. At least like in some parts, well, at least in some parts, well, it can be funny all the time. Well, it can, but yeah, it's not funny all the time. But like when it's funny, it's very funny, and yeah, a lot of books. I'm not gonna talk a lot about each one of them, and yeah, and then we have This Marked Girl by Lindsay Klingele. So it's been quite a while since I read that. I think I read this in like February or maybe March of last year. Last year. But still, and I can't say I remember what it was that was funny about it. But I do remember laughing out loud of it. And I do remember really enjoying this book. So yeah, this book, A Portal Fantasy. Why Portal Fantasy? Definitely recommend it. Actually, a Norwegian book. Well, Norwegian book. It's a translation. Vår tid er alltid. Or in English, I think it's more or less directly translated. So its original name is no, sorry, I was wrong. The original name is This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousins. Cousins, I'm gonna say. And yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's a rom-com. It's more like a book with romance, but also it's very character based, like very character driven. Maybe more rom dramedy, like romantic dramedy. I would say maybe more. Yeah. Anyway, it takes place like it takes place also around the year. Like it takes place the whole year, but it kind of it kind of shows you more or less or a lot of years on New Year's Eve because the two protagonists are both born on New Year's Eve. Sorry. And that's kind of a bit how it's based around, and it's a very emotional and moving and great characters, but it's also yeah very funny now and then. And yeah, highly recommend it. And yeah, This Time Next Year by Sophie Cousins. Check it out. Kind of like I would say in a way, it's kind of like a Richard Curtis movie in a book form because yeah, it's so romantic but also so dramatic and so true to life. And yeah, check it out. Once Upon a Crime by Robin Stevens. This is actually a novella collection, so it's not one story; it's a collection of stories. A few of them I read before, so I didn't read it last year. But like the few that I read, that like some of these stories were like new to this collection. And yeah, what Robin Stevens, at least in my head, is known for is her humor. And yeah, quite a few times in this one, I laughed kind of loud. And yeah, check this one out if you're interested in historical YA crime. And yeah. And then I think this is probably the funnest book I read last year. It is drumroll. I read it also like last December, so at the end of the year. So drumroll. It is Margot Murch Takes It Down by Carrie McCrossan and Ian McCronty. This actually also came out last year. So yeah, I read a book that came out last year. Yes, I did. Not just all the books, also some new books. And yeah, this has been described as Moxie plus Veronica Mars, which I would say in a way is a bit weird because I mean Veronica Mars came out before Moxie, and Veronica Mars definitely is a feminist, at least in my head. But anyway, like this book takes place. It's set around Margaret, and she's I suppose she's kind of in a way like Veronica Mars in the way that she has a PI service, not necessarily PI service. Like she'll take a look at your internet history and kind of fix it. Like if you have a dick pic you don't want people to see, you can get it deleted by her and kind of stuff like that. And then pretty soon in the very early in the book, so it's not a spoiler. Very early in the book, she discovers this web page where girls from her high school, but also surrounding high schools, getting slut shamed, and the pics that they sent to their boyfriends are now being put on online, like online pics or nude pics and stuff like that, and they're being shamed and rated, and yeah, not cool. and of course it's also illegal. But yeah, so this is kind of her search or progress to take it down and to stop this slut shaming and monstrosity. But yeah, it's also just very very fun. As also, of course, it's very serious, but it's very fun. And yeah, definitely check this one out if you want to have get some Veronica Mars type, but like in a book form. I would say check this book out. It's highly recommended, and yeah, in a lot of ways, so so just like so similar to Veronica Mars. So yeah. Also, I kind of think there's supposed to be a series. First of all, it's just one book, but then I googled and I saw that it looks like it's a second book coming out, but I'm not sure if that's just a rumor or if it's official. So yeah, so that is very cool if that is true. But anyway, check this book out. Albert Shaw and the City of Gold. Honestly, I could have put up talk about any of these books, but talk about books from I read last year, and yeah, also this actually came out last year. But yeah, all the Albert Shaw books just one of the main aspects of them is just they make me laugh so much. And yeah, this one definitely did as well. Rudy made some very cool comments in there, and yeah, and it takes place in a city in gold, which my Eldorado loving heart will appreciate so much. And yeah, and then we have, I was gonna say last, not last, but it's the last physical book that I have at the moment. Give me This is the second book in the Thursday Murder Club series. It's the Norwegian arc, Man som døde to ganger. In English, The Man Who Died Twice. So it's one of those times where it's directly translated. And yeah, it's the Thursday Murder Club, which written by Richard Osman. I'm not like quite sure if you could call Richard Osman a comedian per se, but he's been an entertainer for quite a while. He's been, I suppose, he's more presenter than a comedian per se, but he's not an unfunny man. And at least in these books, you kind of know, like, yeah, he definitely knows how to be funny and make funny scenes. And yeah, this book made me laugh so much that, yeah, yeah, just a joy to read, like in all aspects. But yeah, very, very funny. Then we have, give me a little moment, other books that I don't have here. For example, we have Amari and the Night Brothers. Yeah, one of my favorite reads from last year. I got it from the library, so I don't own it. Probably should buy it, so yeah, I can own it and show it off. Probably, yeah, we'll do that. But yeah, at this point in time, I don't own it, but Amari. And yeah, Amari by Night Brothers, you probably heard of it. I'm not going to talk that much about it because it's so funny and very well known, at least in my head. And also, blah 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 blah. Amari is also. I feel like I was about to say something else. It's also. Yeah, I mean, I very much like one of the aspects that I love about it so much is talking elevators. It's just so fun. And yeah, then we have Skullduggery Pheasants. So I reread the first book last year, so that book is very funny in itself. But I also, yeah, so that's what I'm, yeah, sorry, that's what I'm talking about here. But I also actually read also the, I'm pretty sure, yeah, I actually also read the 13th book last year, which also funny. Like, yeah, I love the Skullduggery Pleasance books. They're very original, but they're also very, something quite creepy. But they're also, all of them are just very funny. That's kind of the main aspect, like the main standing out thing of attitudes, I would say, to that series. And yeah. And then we have a book that just finished at this in December. In December, I pretty sure I own it, but I couldn't find it. So yeah. And anyway, it's only in sorry, I'm only in it for the parking, which is by Lee. His name is Lee, but his blah 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 blah. Stage name is Lost Voice Guy. It's because he doesn't have a voice like what it's word again. Literally, he can't speak. He can make noises, but he can't speak. But still, he's a stand-up comedian, so he writes his own stuff, and then he has computer spell out like give out his points. And yeah, so this is a biography by him. It's an autobiography, so it's about him by him, and it takes a look at both his personal life, but also it gets kind of insight into being disabled in the UK and I suppose in the modern world. And yeah, it's just quite fun now and then, as you would assume for a stand-up comedian books. I mean, kind of obvious. If I suppose a stand-up comedian could write a non-funny book, that would be very weird, but I suppose it could happen. But yeah. Then we have Princess Florinda and the 48 Stairs. This is actually by Catherine M. Valente, who's more famous for writing those YA science fiction space opera books. Oh wait, am I saying the wrong author? I think I might. Anyway, Princess, again, Princess Florinda is a shorter story. It's a novella. I've listened to it on audiobook. It was maybe 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, around that. And it's not a retelling per se of a fairy tale. I would say it's more like a remix because it has that trope of a princess being what's the word again? Trapped, and a witch trapping her, and a princess trying to save her. But the thing is, she ends up saving herself in this one because the princes are all very useless, and so it's very feminist take on fairy tales, and yeah, very feminist take on fairy tales. It's very funny, of course, why it's on this list, and yeah. Then we have London number one docking London's number one dog walking agency. I listened to this one also on audiobook. It's a biography of their author, awesome, autobiography, and yeah, it's about how she started the first, and kind of became the biggest London dog walking agency in London. She started it in 2006 or something, and then she kind of kept on until to this day. At this point, she doesn't live in London herself, but she can do it all remote, and yeah, it's just very funny about dog owners and dog stories, and yeah, I enjoyed it very much. It's narrated by Anna Popwell of Narnia fame, and yes, she narrates very well, so check it out. Then we have, I'll talk about that one. I'll talk about this one. I'll sorry, into Apocalypse Kings is a short story in the uh, Skullduggery Pleasant World. I bought it last year. Yeah, last year it came out last year. Yeah, last year I believe. But it's set many years before. But it's a short story set in the first what's the word again? The first series, and of course it's Skullduggery Pleasant World, so very funny. And yeah, and that is my funny reads absolute funny reads that I read last year. Some came out last year, some didn't. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you wanted to share some funny reads you read last year, please do that. And I hope you have a fun day, evening, morning, or whatever when you're watching this. And I'll see you soon. Bye.